Well, good morning and welcome to UTAS Stadium for this big game this afternoon between Tasmania and Port Melbourne. The second look at the new look development squad Tassie have got in the build-up to the VFLW. They've played one game, got the better of Norwood. Today, another difficult mainland opposition heading down as they continue their pre-season from the Sandful to the VFLW. Port Melbourne, the visitors today. The Borough come to UTAS for what should be a cracking encounter. I'm Andrew calling the action here this afternoon, and joining me in special comments is Maggie Goldsmith on her big debut here on the special comments day. Maggie, welcome, and what are you expecting from this one?
Oh, thanks, Andrew. I am so excited. I'm super excited to see how our Tassie girls stand up against the Borough, but in particular, we know that we've got Jessie Williams from the Port Melbourne side, one of our own, so I'm excited to see how she plays, but also Georgia Foran, who is a new signing player with the Borough. So excited to see how she goes on her debut, as this is their first practice match for 2025 as well. And from our Tassie girls, I'm really interested to see how young Ava Reid and Lucy Thompson can step up on this big UTAS stadium today.
Well, the length of the ground certainly is an interesting factor. We saw it the last couple of years with this Tassie side, the differing styles of game you've kind of had with it's gone from North Hobart up here to the suddenly much wider expanses, a lot more space to exploit. So it'll be interesting to see if they tweak the game plan at all. The Twin Ovals, where they played the first game, not the smallest ground, but certainly not this size. So it'll be very interesting to see if that impacts the game plan at all. Absolutely,
and also really excited to see Emily Mifsud, who will be debuting her first game with the Tassie girls. She's someone who's an absolute leader for her team down in, at North Hobart. So her stepping up to this big side and big field, I'm really excited to see her influence in the forward line. We'll see actually where she'll play.
Well, it will be interesting to see. A couple of changes into the team from the opening game. A couple forced. Meg Radford coming in for this one. And a big weekend for Meg, a bit of a multi-code sporting star playing in a Cricket Tas one-day final tomorrow. So pretty
busy weekend.
Big weekend for Meg Radford.
How exciting.
State rep game, an absolute gun cricketer too. So huge weekend for her. The players heading into the middle, the Borough there, ready to go. We're just about to get underway at UTAS. Certainly overcast conditions for this one. We'll see if the wind's impacting either end. That was certainly a factor in game number one down at the Twin Ovals, but normally a little bit more protected here at UTAS. Tasmania's just taking their time. But should be great to see. You mentioned the likes of Ava Reid and Lucy Thompson kicked all the goals in the first game between them and really took their chances, I think was probably the story of that match. Can they do that again today? There is Sarah Skinner heading to the middle, and she was best on ground by an absolute mile, by my estimation. She absolutely tore it up. Looking forward to seeing what she can do. Looks like she's lining up alongside Nicola Davidson there. Important role for the Borough and trying to shut down the Tassie Star.
Yeah, and it's really like these first kind of hit-outs where we see how the midfields match up and what they're going to do for the rest of the game.
So we're ready to go. It'll be Dennehy Maloney up against Johnson in the ruck, underway. One down by Johnson, and Skinner immediately onto the ball, and she'll send Tassie forward instantly. Probing kick, but it's well picked off back there. Georgia Foran with the intercept. Just a bit too much on it for Thompson. Looks to send it out quickly, looking for Caruso. Steadies and heads back inside the corridor. Good mark taken in the middle there, and they'll keep it moving. Chance to go forward for the Borough. High searching ball, but beautifully intercepted by Libby Haynes. There's a towering presence in that defence. Haynes heads wide. Searching ball, looking out there for White. Might have copped one a little high, and the umpire will pay it. So White heads wide, crunching in, almost taken there by the ruckman Johnson. Turning away with it was Stutt. She'll receive it back. Stutt now. Chance to assess her options and head towards the half-forward line. Haynes again getting up, rises to spoil. Cleaned up there was Jebel Lamb. Found its way to Bromwich. Pressure applied by Hill. Johnson again wins it down. Hit forward by Ashley Cooper. Strong mark is taken by Slater. It's an R4 directing traffic. Rachel Slater sends the Borough forward. Inside 50. It's a good looking kick. Almost found its way through for Mifsud. Not quite. And Whitehead will lock that one up. Borough deep in attack. Doing the rucking was Hill. Just forced out of there by Haynes. Skinner with the clearing kick, and it's a good one. Found Meg Radford at half back. Radford wheels off to her right, sends it wide, searching for White. And that'll be Borough ball with the last touch rules.
Already we've seen Skinner quite dominate that midfield. She's able to anticipate where that ball's going to go, and I can foresee that link up between Skinner and White is going to be something that's really beneficial to get the ball into the Tassie forward line.
Yeah, certainly did that in game number 1, did Skinner. They were looking for it every opportunity, and why not? One of the real leaders and experienced players in this side, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So, ready to get back underway here. As the Borough send it up towards the wing. There is Skinner backing back in there against Ashley Cooper. Swivels out, ducking under a tackle was Robson. Sends it forward and almost a mark, but play on the call. Snap around the corner, tumbling towards the goal square. Defending territory back there was Whitehead, but able to gather Mifsud, and she shrugs a tackle, straightens up, heads for goal, and the wind just tugs it wide. Our first score of the afternoon. Some smooth moving there from Jordan Mifsud. Long out of fullback, Haynes again, an aerial target. Ducking under a tackle was Ashley Cooper and drawing some high contact in the process. Was the gun Borough midfielder. Now Eloise Ashley Cooper.
She averaged 18 disposals last year in her games and 7 tackles, so definitely someone who makes an impact on the field.
She sends them forward here, and again a ball up. Port Melbourne doing the bulk of the attacking early. So Dennehy Maloney to ruck, but comfortably beaten by Johnson. There is Dennehy Maloney. Fired out a handball looking for Rabot. Taken down, Skinner tumbles one, really clear the air. It's going to come right back in there. Bouncing deep, paddled back, an opportunity perhaps for Mifsud. Goes off the ground, centres it looking towards Slater, and then arriving was O'Keefe. But she couldn't quite direct the socket attempt through for a minor score. Port Melbourne on top. Early doors here at UTAS. Clear and kick up towards the arc of 50. It's taken there by Webster. Handball back into dispute though, one back by Dennehy Maloney. Again, they should be able to repel. Hill did well, got it to Skinner. High ball into the middle of the ground. Bounces out the back of the contest. First to it right. She's brought down a crunching tackle. Molly Mitchell there applying the pressure.
That's something Molly's really known for, are those crunching precision tackles to get the ball. That was great.
Just a stoppage there when the opposition had the numbers. Another tackle laid, and then Perry King comes in. Something like 15 tackles in the first game, Perry King. She was relentless in there, but the Borough on the attack here. Here's Calagero. Will send them inside 50 once more. Out the back, did anyone get hands to that? It's tumbling towards the line. It's through again for a behind. 3-0. So doing all the attacking here, the Borough, but no goals to speak of yet.
Very close though, so Tassie would be feeling that pressure in the back line and relying on the fact that they have been behind.
This one just drops into the lap of Olivia Smith. Classy on baller. Has a run out of half back here and just finesses one in the middle of the ground. Wasn't her best kick though, and spills out the back. King collected without the football. Surely a free kick there for King. And the umpire does spot it. Fairly blatant, that one.
You can see that took the wind out of her. And Perry's just come back from last year, like a massive ACL injury as well. So it's so great to see her recovered and fully back at a fine football level.
This kick intercepted, however. Umpire's whistle, though, has spotted a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Molly Mitchell. So Mitchell towards the half-forward line. Tasmania looking to attack for the first time this afternoon here. Ashley Cooper couldn't take it cleanly. Pressure coming from Thompson. They lock it in there with Mifsud. Tasmanians get something going in attack here. Johnson reaches over the top, won it down. Kick forward by Mitchell. Not much purchase on it, but a bit of a chaotic bounce out the back. Just carried off, it was Rabo. Ashley Cooper, handball away into the middle of the ground. Stooping and driving forwards was Slater. Pressure comes from Caruso. In a bit of trouble was Barnes. And caught holding the football. Wide ball is a good one. Burrow continue the attack here in some spaces. Stutt, she's got room to run here. Bella Stutt, she'll close in on goal. Set sail for home. Won't quite have the distance. Well defended back there by Whitehead. Sees off a dangerous moment.
I reckon she's thinking to herself, I probably should have just sent that. Got it up a little bit higher and tried to go over the back of the contest, and it would have just flown through.
Pretty surprised by how much room she had at half forward there, Stutt. Suddenly found herself in acres of space. It is a large ground, as we mentioned pre-game. Umpire spotted some holding in the ruck contest here. It's going to be a free kick to the Borough. Opportunity. Their first of the afternoon. Might be Calogero. Sends it on its way. Looks pretty good off the boot. It is. Makes no mistake. And Port Melbourne get their first of the contest. Alexandra Calogero firing that one through. Or might be Isabella Robson, my apologies. 9-0. And finally some reward on the scoreboard there.
It's really good to see the minute that Borough used that wide space, that they found time with the ball, able to make those connections with those kicks, and then they were just rewarded for, I guess, pushing off the ball. Holding player. Holding her.
It's an awful lot in that one for mine. It's red hot, that. Mackenzie Banks penalised. She was a little bit confused. I suppose technically it is a hold, but yeah, red hot.
You could call it a bit of a stiff call, but either way, they've got to wait until that ball's in play for them to then be pushing. The ball was still out of the contest at that point.
So that's the value of a forward half stoppage too. So back to the middle, and the goal scorer, Bella Robson, won it down. Lamb tries to crush through. He was also impressive in that first hit out for Tasmania into Norwood. But tackling full pressure really stood out in that one. Robson won it down. Turning away was King, got it to Smith. Smith just kicks into space. Skinner charging out after this one. Wright giving chase, but Skinner will get there first. Turns it round the corner. Sets Thompson a task. Closing in here and applies the pressure to Foran. Able to see it out of play. Discussion. Sarah Skinner was sensing a chance for the last touch. Well, we'll toss it up. Moved back into play. White doing the ruck work now. She's stripped of the football. Handball found its way through to Barwick. She too brought down, so getting hands to the ball first there, Tassie. Just unable to escape the contest. Want to continue ruck against Robson. Smith couldn't gather cleanly. Handball back there to Caffrey. She's dumped to the deck and holding the ball, the decision. Kerry King rewarded for a tough tackling. King looking for Skinner. Juggled attempt, couldn't quite mark. Well defended by Wright there, but shrugged off by Skinner. Too strong. Got it forward to Smith. Smith deep, searching for Reed. Tight to the line, not quite.
We can already see in that midfield it's actually quite a close matchup. No matter who's getting the ball, there's always a tackle or a red hot pressure straight on, so it's not a lot of time for them to get the clearance.
So Tasmania on the attack here. For their first, Reed doing the ruck work, won it down. Going nowhere, it was Webster. Knocked up by Caffrey. One down by Robson. Kick cleared up towards the paint of 50, gathered by Bromwich. Sharp handball, and then just kicks it out into space. A task there for Slater. Quite gather cleanly, just going off the deck. Foran sends it towards the half-forward line. One-on-one contest here. Shifted back inside by Mifsud. Goes back in, wins it. Then Buchanan looked to send them forward. It was chopped off by Hill, but not 15, and she's brought down by Bromwich. The ball up. The paint of 50. Bromwich locking that one in there. On ones throughout the forward 50 there. Both rucks just kind of look at it. It's the ball hit the deck, and that one drift out of bounds on the full.
Even that one confused me for a minute.
Both just were letting the opposition have the tap, I think. Both went with the same strategy.
They're like, no, you go, you go.
Can't often be the go, just have an extra one at the full. But just kind of dropped in betwixt both. Really nicely done by Johnson. Tasmania out the back here via Perry King. King, kick though. Reed did well from behind against Davey. Goes back in for it, stripped of it. Dancing through traffic. There was Buchanan. He tried to do a little too much. Free kick going the way of Ava Reed. Had a good few minutes here, Reed. She'll send Tasmania forward. Had the short option on, but instead goes further afield. And it almost lands in the lap of Lamb. Dropped it, recovered it, turns onto the right. Didn't get anything on the kick. Ball still to be won. Davey able to clear it. Umpire spotted something though. It's going to be a free kick the way of the Borough. Wynn just caught that one. Lamb able to take the mark. So Borough will once again look to build out a defence. Short ball marked by Caffrey. Heads into the middle. Through the hands, Calagero out the back to Robson. He'll be sent forward by O'Keefe. Dangerous situation. Haynes blocking that one off with the legs and scrapping hard at ground level. A tough woman to get past Libby Haynes. Real killer of this Tasmanian defensive unit.
Just so good at getting into the right spot before the ball gets there, really watching it.
Pick up another attack there, trying to burst free with Saywood, but she was immediately brought down by a pair of tacklers. Skip out the back of the contest. Caffrey and Caruso had other ideas. Johnson, better of these ruck duels early on. Rewarded for playing in front is Grace White. Slides in, takes the mark. Not a lot ahead of the football, so just has to wait for a little to develop. Then steers an expert kick to Radford. Beautiful ball use there. It's opening up here. Radford treads water and then sends it inside the forward 50. Perhaps not the best option. It's broken up by Foran. They had the outnumber. And Buchanan will look to charge off half-back here for the Borough. She sends them forward. Searching ball out there towards O'Keefe. Gathers. High ball. Cannon underneath it. Rather, Slater juggled the mark nicely, Slater, and keeps it moving quickly. One-on-one out the back. Almost reeled in by Mifsud. Gathered at ground level and just missed. An individual effort. Initially fumbled the mark, but was quick to gather it and shoot.
Tough when you're in that one-on-one in the back line and you know that it's only you and the other player.
Coming in, so easy to give away a free kick in that situation too. It's Barwick. Here's defensive 50. Radford rather gets there first. Got it to Lamb. Lamb out into space. First to that one will be Davey. It's time to pick her way through. Lovely smother though, forcing the turnover was Mifsud. And locks it in. That's a big win there for Tasmania.
Really good to see now Miffy starting to get those touches on the ball, getting her comfort zone. She's pulling the forward line a little bit deeper.
Arm down, Lamb is immediately wrapped up. Maloney, right this time against Johnson. Just bustling her way through with Skinner. Got it to Lamb. And Lamb with a pinpoint ball just short of White. Couldn't quite get there. Had the pressure on Calahero. Eventually, the Borough able to clear it up. The ground, umpire's whistle goes again, this time the way of the Tasmanians.
Little bit of confusion there from the Borough.
Arguing the point, but Webster given the free kick, although rather spurned it in the end. Johnson comes in and applies some pressure. Spills the way of Jebel Lamb. That's a lovely kick inside, but the mark spills. Skinner, crunch! Absolutely nailed her.
And that is what she does best. She's banking on her experience and really being that role model in that captain role to show the rest of the team this is what we're here for.
Can't afford a fumble when she's around. Just that half second, and that was enough. So Tassie win the ball back, but struggling to get much going forwards at the moment. Jebel Lamb flicked a clever handball to the outside. Back in, searching for Bromwich, but reaching in with Skinner. Umpire again with a free kick. Sort of little holds being paid at the moment, just breaking up the flow of the game. Tasmania head wide, but had a bit too much on it for Webster. That's how to play.
It's like that fine line. You want the umpire to be calling things early so things don't get away from you. But at the same point, you do want to find the flow of the game. You want that hot footy to just keep on going through.
Final 90 seconds of the quarter here. 10-0 the way of the visitors, who've started strong. Tasmania find a late score here in quarter number one. Out the back, Webster battling away with Wright. The other way was Stutt. Handball back to Johnson. Cleverly scooped out behind. It was a throw though, says the umpire. Free kick going the way of the Borough. So perhaps an opportunity for a late score here for Port Melbourne. High ball. The kick seemingly favoured the Tasmanians. There were three of them there, and it's gathered by Baldwin. Her handball put the teammate under pressure though, and Calagero charges out in silver service. Almost found Robson. Was well defended though. Clearing kick comes from Brianna Barwick. Plenty of purchase on it. First to it though was Dennehy Maloney. Now Wright. Handball inside, and one last chance to attack here. Over the head of Haynes out the back. Might sit. An opportunity there for Robson. Couldn't convert. And Tasmania let off the hook in the dying embers of this quarter.
Wow. It's always in that last 60 seconds of the quarter things just start to amp up a little bit more, don't they?
Well, certainly the last 60 seconds of game number one was fraught with danger for the Tasmanian defence as Norwood nearly snatched it late. And there is the siren for quarter time. So a strong start from the VFLW visitors. The Port Melbourne Borough doing all of the attacking really in quarter number one. 1-5-11. Probably could be further ahead, a little inaccurate. The only thing you'd knock them for. We'll have to wait till halftime to see how much wind is a factor though. Tasmania yet to score. Your thoughts on quarter number one?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, we just wanted to see how the teams were matching up. From what I can see, definitely the midfields are very even. But, you know, Borough got the 7 forward entries that quarter, whereas Tassie only got the 4, and the last 3 were in those last 5 minutes, really. Starting to lose their positions a little bit, but I'm sure Jodie Clifford will tell Tasmania just to kind of relax and breathe and hold your structure. And as for Port Melbourne, maybe using those wings a little bit more, because that seemed to work every single time they put it out there. They had so much paddocks of space to really stop and prop and then send the kick in.
Who stood out to you there in quarter number one? Who do you think the better players were there, Maggie?
Particularly in the first few minutes of the first quarter, Sarah Skinner from Tassie, she just seemed to be on the ball, really out there, and then Perry King seemed to step up in the back end. But Also, I could hear from Port Melbourne, Calogero was called every other second, and Mifsud as well. She did amazing down in that forward line.
There is quarter time. We'll take a short break and be back with quarter number 2 for you here from UTAS Stadium. It's Port Melbourne leading 11-0 after the first term. We're back for quarter number 2 at UTAS Stadium. What do you reckon the message would have been from the Tasmanian coach, Jodie Clifford, there at quarter time, Maggie?
I think Jodie would have probably reminded the girls of the things that they've been practicing and training for, back to their game plan, but also using those out the back handballs and then sending it long, rather than maybe taking on the contest a little bit too early, particularly when the footy is so hot at the moment. I definitely think that would be one of her key messages, but also just reminding them that they are a well-oiled team and their structures will work.
So we're just about ready to go in quarter number 2. Can the Tasmanians respond here after being held off the score sheet in the first term? 11-0 as we resume the bout. Johnson up against Denahi Maloney. Tasmania looking to attack immediately. Slightly high there on Molly Mitchell. Go back and send the Tasmanians forward. This is where it broke down a little for them in quarter number 1. Can she find a target inside the forward 50? To a contest. Juggling down there with Skinner has been flung forward. She'll turn, looks to brush off a tackle. Dished off the handball. And before the kick can be fired at goal by Barnes, a free kick blown the way of the Borough. Skinner taking a little too long there, perhaps.
Yeah, I thought maybe even the handball didn't fully connect. Potentially a little bit of a throw.
So, interesting move, Skinner forward here. Perhaps just trying to find some options in that forward line early on. Quarter number 2. That's a good intercept mark taken by Bree Barwick. Now can they catch them inside the forward 50 here? Sends it to a contest. Well defended by Caruso. Thompson was the match winner in game number 1 for the Tasmanians. They're applying the pressure here. Thompson just kind of flung it out to Reid. Who got a shot on target. It'll be Tassie's first score, but behind only.
I love to see that Ava knew, even with her back to goal, where it was, and it's always worth taking that shot.
Yeah, she's got good goal-scoring instincts, I'd say, Ava Reid, from what I've seen of her. Seems to know where the big sticks are. Foran. Booming kick out of defence. A bit too much on it, though. Coughed it up to Barnes, who turned into trouble. Just got the handball away in time, and now dashing away with its Calagero. Good ball to Denahi Maloney. Keeps it in motion. They'll work it up the line. The handball from Jebel Lamb. Now an opportunity to go in 50 for Ashley Cooper, but she's brought down, and a great tackle from Banks.
That was a beautiful tackle, but that was a great link-up of handballs. What a really smart and effective way to transition the ball.
And look to keep it moving here. Guided inside the forward line. Just caught behind there on that occasion, though, was Thompson. So they force another turnover heel. Scrap forward back to Thompson. Thompson put Webster under some pressure, bashing through Barwick. And free kick again the way of the Borough. Quite been able to nail those inside 50s yet, the Tasmanians. Jebel Lamb guiding that one. Finding a target at half back. Looking to draw someone to was Davey. Back into the middle of the ground. Knocked away there by Radford. Maybe taken down without a Davidson. She turns around looking expectantly. It will be a free kick going the way. Carla Davidson, who wastes no time. Sends it wide. Calagero. Pressured there by Baldwin. Good enough to get back inside onto her right foot, though. Two Borough players just running into each other there. Invites Tasmania back in. Hill on hands and knees. Taken down without it was Smith. Umpire will call for it.
I think this is what we're seeing where Port Melbourne is kind of differing from Tassie, is that when they're transitioning back out, they're really able to hit targets, even though the pressure applied from Tassie is fantastic, but they're able to hit targets a little bit better.
I think that's a fair assessment. Just a little slicker with their ball use at the moment. They'll get another free kick here. Opportunity to get something going. Dropping the mark though was Davidson, but busts through the pack all the same. Sends them inside the forward 50. Haynes, Hill, couldn't get it away from Slater. It's it high into the pocket. Jebel Lamb lurking. Applying some pressure was O'Keefe. Spills out the back. Maybe an opportunity for Slater here. Couldn't gather cleanly. Goes back in. The cleverly prodded to Rabot. She sends it up towards the danger zone. And going off the ground there was Mifsud. Couldn't quite direct it. And another behind for the Borough. They haven't been shy about the shot off the ground here today.
I wonder if they've been inspired by Richmond the other night, and then if you get the soccer in, you got to do the backflip to accompany it.
Yes, of course, Tasmania's own Seth Campbell closing that one. The Tigers.
He started a trend.
Maybe. I'll tell you what, if we get celebrations like that every match, that'd be a great trend. Great
It's all
stuff.
part of the show, isn't it? This is what footy is. It's a show.
Well, I've always admired someone who celebrates a goal, and maybe Port Melbourne will have something to celebrate here because bursting in on goals Rabo, but again, she can't direct her effort. Misses the lot, in fact. And then 1-6. And that one not troubling the scorers, just not quite taking their chances here, the Borough. Should be further ahead. Thumping kick out of defence. Good tackle laid by Dennehy Maloney.
I'm hoping the Port Melbourne forward line can really start to communicate to their team members about slowing down. When they're in front of goal, they've always had a little bit more time to look up and then angle it a bit more.
So that steadying pause can be tough, I suppose, with a forward. You're kind of sensing the pressure's coming, but you're right.
And then Tassie's been applying a heat the whole game, but that's where their teammates need to really communicate. Breathe. Look up, breathe, you've got this. You've done it 100 times before in training.
Just a little more composure perhaps required. Good kick from Perry King. Found its way to White, who takes the contested mark. The play on. The kick just had a bit too much pepper on it for Saywood, but she's good enough to go back and gather. Sends them out the back, but it's all Port Melbourne. Tasmanians pushing up the ground. Davey able to pick a pass. So they look to execute the switch, and they've done so pretty well. Skipping around the man on the mark, Mifsud. And that's some good ball use. The mark dropped though by O'Keefe. Gathered by Slater, sends it high. Bromwich, they've got a 2-on-1 here, the Borough. And then another, they've got a 3-on-1 in fact. They're lining up. And again, the finish just lacking.
That was
Davidson
great. Great two-way running by Port Melbourne to go all the way back, be the last man in our Tassie's forward line, and then to get it all the way up in 30 seconds shows how fit they are, and they've got that aerobic capacity.
So the misses starting to mount here for the Borough. Mark well taken by Caffrey. Tumbling, juggles it nicely. Let's come back to haunt them. Just the one goal to show for it. Had some pretty good looks. That's a nice ball to four, and he'll send them forward once again. Mark is taken. Can they extend the lead to 18 points? This time, no mistakes. So finally some reward for effort here for Port Melbourne. They go to 2-7, and fair to say that one had been coming, Maggie.
Absolutely, and she stopped and she propped. But you could see Foran, as we said before, her debut with the game today, as she's a new signing player. That's twice she's been that last, but we just see there on the screen, she's able to pop it right into the right spot, all the way from the back line, and really set her team up for that goal.
Might have been Laura Wright. Apologies, didn't quite catch the number on that one. A long way away, relying on the cameraman here.
We just need them all just to turn to the left a little bit before they do a shot.
One disadvantage of not being at the ground, but it makes it an 18-point margin, and they're well on top here, Port Melbourne. Tasmania in need of a response out of the middle as White heads into the ruck, but an opportunity perhaps out the back of the stoppage. Pressure being applied by Caruso. Goes off the deck, found its way to Begg. Begg just keeps the ball out in front of her in motion. Did it well. Rabo was in there. Begg goes back in. Umpire has spotted a hold. It's going to be the Borough to go forward once again. So Rabo. Wide ball broken up by Baldwin. Bromwich. Swept the handball cleverly to Rabot, but fumbled it. Now Webster. She's going nowhere. The umpire's pinged her for holding the footy.
You could see them both looking up as well, and she's like, well, it's out of play. And he's gone, well, you've held it.
No attempt made, perhaps, the umpire ruling there.
You got to do like the fake kind of, oh, I'm hitting it.
That's it.
Trap it between my knees, but I'm hitting it.
I'm just hitting my leg, but geez, it looks like I'm trying to get it out of here, even though I'm not. Umpire said, well, where's the effort? Thompson does well there. Wins a contest, sends it out the back. A foot race now. Can Reed close in here? It's a 2-on-1. There was some nice composed defending from Davey. Handball back into pressure though. Smith, swift handball to Lamb, who's run down from behind. That's a good tackle from Buchanan. Holding the ball and a goal saver perhaps there by Meg Buchanan.
And we had there was 4 free Tassie players there for a quick hands out, but just lack of that maybe communication or feeling the pressure.
Reaching up was Rabot. Play on, says the umpire. Advantage taken. And they've got numbers out the back here. Reed, who takes the mark and immediately goes back. Says, I'll have a shot.
Really smart by White not to take the free kick. She's just played on.
As Reed, well, they had numbers everywhere and sends it short to Mifsud. So an opportunity here for Tasmania. A badly needed opportunity. Can she get there first of the afternoon? And cut the margin back to 12 points, which from Tasmania's perspective, you'd say is a pretty good result.
Absolutely.
Could be a lot more. So can Mifsud take the opportunity here for Tasmania? You bet she can. She drives it right through, and Tasmania get there first of the afternoon. Emily Mifsud, 1-1-7 Tasmania, and they close back within 12 points. And a badly needed goal there for the home side.
Oh, she would be so stoked with that. As you said before about some of the other players, she's like multifaceted in multiple sports, and she's only been playing since 2021. So quite early to this, still quite new to this game. It would mean so much to her to play for the map and then to put a goal on the scoreboard. She'd be so stoked with that.
So back within 12, and can Tasmania get a roll on? That's one thing they did quite well against Norwood, was really taking their chances. So back to the middle. One down to Caffrey. Oh, clever little handball from Dennehy Maloney, and now sent forward by Caruso. Spills inside the forward 50. Charging there was Bromwich. Gathers, steadies, launches for goal, but all playing in front, dropping the mark and inviting pressure. They've coughed it up. Snapshot. Goal. Turnover in a dangerous part of the ground there, and swooping on it was O'Keefe, and Tassie made to pay.
That was great. I love when you get a goal and another one goes back to back. It just creates this momentum and this urgency around the game.
So good finish there as Whitehead, I think it was, just dropping the intercept mark. Unfortunately, spilled it to a dangerous area. Port Melbourne, making no mistake on that occasion, was O'Keefe. Sharp finish and an immediate response from the Borough. Just to Tasmania. Foothold in the game for the first time this afternoon. Johnson wins it down. Davidson shepherded it. High up and under kick will drop into the breadbasket of Banks. Couldn't take the mark. Now she's wrapped up. Haynes just cleverly off the ground. Back into the middle. Ashley Cooper sends it for Caffrey. Caffrey loads up towards the half-forward line. Haynes again defending well. Using those long levers just to reach in and grab it, but she's besieged and wrapped up at half-back. Another hold paid, this time to the Tasmanian ruck, Sophie Johnson. Kicks to a one-on-one, was searching for Barwick. Set her a task though, Start able to gather and Start Spied Bromwich in all sorts of space. Has time to pick a pass inside the forward 50. Nicely defended there by Hill, getting the better of O'Keefe. And finds the safety of the boundary line. Ticking towards half-time here. It's the Borough by 18 points. It's Tasmanian Academy side taking it out of the ruck to Nahi Maloney. Trying to shrug away free Barnes, but it's spilled out the back to Caffrey. That's a clever kick around the corner. Bromwich will head into the pocket. Good ball for Caruso.
Beautiful kick.
Just put it into space. Only Caruso could get it. This will take her best though. Tight angle. And Caruso. Lovely looking kick. Splits the middle. That is perfection from Lauren Caruso. Well, goal kicking has been a problem for the Borough today. Not so there. It doesn't get better than that.
That is why she was the 2024, part of the VFL Team of the Year. She's obviously got that experience and the absolute talent, and it's the forward line were able to celebrate that with her.
Lovely ball. No hesitation. Went back. Absolutely nailed the drop punt from the angle. They've missed some fairly regulation chances, but they get one back there with one that not too many would have kicked.
Port Melbourne now starting to show why they, 2 years in a row have been in the grand final for the VFLW.
A quality outfit, and certainly I think training together will help team cohesion, perhaps playing a role. Wrapped up Bromwich. Tasmania just under siege a bit at the moment. Hanging out for half-time. Chance for Jodie Clifford to reset and change a few things up for the host. Lamb couldn't quite gather it cleanly. Trying to go off the deck. Burrowing in after it, Jebel Lamb. More good tackle laid by Ashley Cooper. Locking it in as Grace White tried to escape. On down towards Davidson. The handball away, flicked by Ashley Cooper. It's a start. Set-up kick looking for O'Keefe, but Haynes defending well.
Haynes is so good at those spoils. She's really great at getting herself in the right position behind the forward player without getting a push in the back and intercepting, putting that pressure on.
Just those arms just seem to come in, don't
So
they?
long
levers. Very accomplished defender, Livy Haynes. This one over both the rucks, out the back for Thompson. High ball into the middle of the ground. Come down with snow on it. Radford was underneath. It fell the way of Adams. Sends the Borough forward overheads and out the back, and Slater with a chance to steady shrugs off Hill. The pressure came from Baldwin to the goal square, and a good mark taken in the last line of defence. Back there by Georgia Hill. To clear the defensive 50. Spill the way of Haynes. Just gets the handball away in time. Swiping at it was Stutt. Hill got rid of it, but only so far as Caffrey turns one around the corner. Bromwich out after it again. Bromwich wrapped up well by Haynes, who did really well to not give away a high tackle. And the ball spilled out, and taking it away was Smith, and in stride Johnson, but she ran into trouble and turned it over and punted forward by Adams. Tasmania with the numbers at the back, cleared out of there by Barwick. Heads wide. And a play, it trickles.
That was really smart by Haynes before, leaning on her AFLW experience to not put her body over the other player's head, but to wrap herself around and get down to her level and not get that free kick.
It's really nice work adjusting the body. That was some sharp work by Jebel Lamb. We'll go inside 50 once again, but there was Haynes again, who's keeping things together at the back for Tasmania at the minute. The ball is coming in with regularity. Haynes Couldn't hit the target on that occasion. Spins out the back. Caffrey will gather. Sets a high one for Ashley Cooper, but Skinner pressuring her. She's gone out of the game a little in quarter number 2, Skinner for Tasmania. She gets a disposal here. Play allowed to continue. They'll go forward once again. Final minute of the half, and spills out the back. An opportunity for Bromwich. Couldn't quite get it on target. Just sneaks it in for a behind.
Yeah, I think moving Skinner into the forward line, we've definitely missed her presence. Maddie Lamb has definitely picked up, being hot on the footy. But maybe bringing her back in and bringing that dominant kind of tackle pressure might be what Tasmania needs.
So they've just got to navigate this one without turning it over. There's not enough time for Tassie to score, but there is enough for the Borough if they're quick here. They've got to go quickly, and Adams will do just that. One last attempt here. High ball to the contest, off hands. Jebel Lamb wrapped up there by Smith and Baldwin, and there is the halftime siren. So Port Melbourne breaking away from the home side there in quarter number 2. They extend their lead to 25 points. Were wasteful early on, 1 goal 7 at one stage, but straightened up in front of the big sticks as the second quarter progressed. A pretty comfortable lead at half time there, Maggie.
Yeah, I mean, we saw very similar forward entries to the first quarter. Port Melbourne had 7 forward entries and Tassie had 4 again. But when Port Melbourne has it in there, they're able to lock it in a lot more and keep the ball up their end. But also, Port Melbourne were able to get 4 free kicks. So after some kind of like non-disciplined actions, that's an advantage you don't want to give a team that's already ahead. But great to see Miffy get her first goal, as we mentioned before. Yeah,
certainly the highlight of the second quarter there for Tasmania is they did get that first goal. Close back within 2 goals, but Port Melbourne able to pull away again at the end of the quarter. Before we take off for a quick breather at half-time, your best players from that first half, Maggie?
I reckon from Port Melbourne, Caruso, that goal was just absolutely beautiful. The drop punt from the really tough angle. And Foran in the back line, she just was able to anticipate the ball so many times and be one-on-one and still manage to turn it over and get it back. And then for Tassie, I thought Maddie Lamb was really on the ball the whole time. Few drop marks, but her intent to get the ball was fantastic. And Grace White, she's done some wonderful things in the midfield, holding it together there.
So at halftime, it's Port Melbourne firmly in the ascendancy. They lead this one by 25 points. We'll be back shortly with the second half from UTAS as Tasmania look to fight back in this one. But at the halfway point, the Borough looking in command at UTAS Stadium. So we're back for the second half here at UTAS. The Tasmanians out in the middle early, raring to go as they look to respond. 25 points in arrears to Port Melbourne, 32-7. Maggie Goldsmith, what the Tasmanians need to get right in the second half to get back into this game?
Look, I'm sure Jodie spoke a lot about their structures and doing the simple things, not dropping those marks and, getting those kicks. But I think we just need to come out with momentum and then the rest will follow.
Can they get a strong start here, or will the Borough continue on their merry way? We're underway in quarter number 3. For an early clearance here, Ashley Cooper, but immediately wrapped up by Gemma Webster. Locking that one in there. Skinner back on the ball. We're just there for the Tasmanians to get her going. In quarter number 3 as Webster's gone down. Looking rather sore out the back of that contest. Tasmania will get it forward anyway. Turning with it was Thompson. She's dangerous around the goals. Kicks this one up towards the goal square. Paddles straight into the path of Lamb. Couldn't get much purchase on the kick. Thompson following up, applying pressure. Now Barwick trying to crash through, but she's brought down. And holding the footy is the decision. And it's a good kick. Finds Calogero at half back. Almost the start Tasmania were looking for there, but some good defence from the Borough, and they look to clear defensive 50 here. Over the head there of Banks, turning away was Caffrey, her kick smothered. Now an opportunity for Radford, but she's bit off more than she could chew there, brought down. No holding the ball, says the umpire. And tackle laid by Rabot will lock things up.
It's definitely already a little bit more momentum going on, and Tassie are going a little bit harder at the contest, making sure that footy's theirs.
Looking for a response here in quarter number 3. Back into the middle of the ground. It was nicely done by Jebel Lamb. Swoop out the back. An opportunity for right, but she's brought down. Holding the footy. No, it's a lingering tackle perhaps. Free kick going the way of Begg.
I would have thought it'd go the other way.
Yeah, that was my instinct, but Kelsey Hill instead penalised, and Begg will look to drive the Borough forward. That's a dart of a kick. Not quite taken by Slater, and Skinner climbs on top and locks it in. One down, but straight to King for Tasmania. Her kick turned over. It's going to come right back the other way. Let's kick up towards the half-forward line. Here's Bromwich. Kicked a fine goal in quarter number 3, but she can't escape the clutches of Banks. Spills out the back. Radford now applying the pressure. Spearing defence from the Tasmanians there.
They've actually popped Caruso in the back line for Port Melbourne. She's just done that first big clearing kick into the forward line.
Bromwich gave it off to Jebel Lamb. Umpire's whistle is gone. Is it going to be an advantage or going to be brought back? It's advantage paid in the goal to the Borough. So Jebel Lamb fires through the first of quarter number 3. And they're out by 31 points. That was a really sharp snap there. I
didn't quite see what was going to be called anyway.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Just heard the whistle go, but quickly taking the advantage was Paris Jebel Lamb. And a sharp shooter there.
When in doubt, have a shot.
Yep. That was instinctive finish. Knew that the free kick was going her side's way. Wasn't going to risk a 50. And Port Melbourne pick up where they left off here in quarter number 3. Extend that lead to 31 points. And on top in the ruck is Dennehy Maloney. Handball from Rabot. And forward once again. Searching ball for Mifsud. Haynes standing her. Mifsud gathers. Haynes immediately wrapping her up. Just got boots the ball. Skinner tracking back. Rabot buttering up. Jebel Lamb squaring ball into the middle of the 50. Looking for Bromwich. Skipping through was Calogero. Her handball back into Bromwich looking to burrow through, but Radford wrapping her up. So no further. Tough tackling there from Meg Radford. Worse for wear for a 2. Coming up a little bit proppy. Johnson won that one down, but turning is Ashley Cooper. Sent to the deck. Bromwich again. Lamb, the 2 helmets colliding there, and Lamb gets the better of Bromwich, who's gone down clutching a knee. You hope she's all right. Tasmania take the advantage, move it quickly. Ava Reid now showed some poise, flicked it over the top there for Saywood. Saywood's kick, though, back into traffic, and there's plenty of Borough shirts around there. Good Shepherd late allowed Caffrey through. Now they'll look to send it forward once more. Over the head there of King, tumbling out the back. Banks got a hand in just to break up Jebel Lamb. Forward they go, the Borough. Still looking proppy is Bromwich. Couldn't get to the ball. Or did she get boot to the ball there? She didn't. Hill brought down. A free kick going the way of Caitlin O'Keefe. Long way from goal, though. Probably too far to score. She's asking for Leeds to present. Directing traffic. And squares it up. Oh, dropping the chest mark there was Slater. Bit of a let off for Tasmania. Allows in Skinner. She repels Jebel Lamb. Out the back. Now dancing through Robson, but coughed it straight up to Johnson. Johnson now just needed to have a look there. Just rushed the kick. And it was only Laura Wright standing that part of the field. Takes the easy intercept.
It's those key moments that we really need to be a little bit more composed and look up, and that goes down to your teammates communicating that to you.
Yeah, it has stood out today. The ball used for Tasmania just hasn't quite been as crisp as the Boroughs, that's for sure. Maybe a stoppage on the wing here. Gives them a little while, but eventually calls for it. Johnson won that one down, but to the opposition, round the corner, mark taken. They move it swiftly forward once more. Good mark taken by Mifsud. Mifsud, clever looking kick, almost a mark there for Stutt, but it was broken up, and now Barnes can try and clear the area, just slaps it on the boot again. Just unable to find a target. Set up behind the ball, the Borough, and picking things off Davidson on this occasion. Kick from Davey. Now a high ball inside the forward 50. But he's back in defence for Tasmania. Mackenzie Banks with the intercept. Sells in that part of the game. Does Banks. A bit of a risky kick set. Olivia Smith a task. She was up to it though. Did well to hold a couple off and get it to Haynes. Haynes put a teammate under pressure, and Jebel Lamb with another strong tackle. Sending Grace White to the deck.
The real difference I'm starting to see now as we're getting into the game is the half-back line of Tasmania. When they're getting possession, they're really just trying to throw it straight back and rebound it, whereas Port Melbourne have got a little bit more time and space and structure when to deliver it and where they're going to go to.
They're on the attack once again, the Borough. Just outside the paint of 50, Dennehy Maloney with some strong ruck work there. Haynes would have had a jumper held. Play on the call. Only Mitchell working up the field to apply some pressure, but again it's swept out the back. Ashley Cooper. And a high ball in the Paris Jebel Lamb direction, who gathers in stride. The kick, not sure that was their intent, but it worked out all right to Slater. She's wrapped up by Hill. There'll be a ball up inside 50 once again.
I reckon there was a few tugging of the Guernseys just around that contest there. Maybe not completely within the ball area.
They're certainly red hot on that earlier. Maybe just relax a little as it's worn on. Oh, taking too long there was Hill. Just got boot to ball. And Haynes has wrapped up. Hill just taking a fraction time extra to find an option coming out of defence and was nearly made to pay for it. One down by Robson. Clearing the area is Smith, but cleared it straight to Begg. He's got time to steady control, looks to skip inside, gave the handball off to Caruso, steadies and fires out of bounds on the full.
It just seems also that there's a lot of red and blue around the ball and there's a lot of green behind the ball. So we're trying to anticipate where it's going to go, but in terms of going back to that one-on-one, maybe Tasmania's starting to lose their structure a little bit.
Here's Skinner. Has a look, doesn't see anything she likes. Oh, missed a kick, a rare error there. Miss Saywood, will they be made to pay? A good tackle, saving tackle there by Kelsey Hill. Bailing them out. Lamb does well to take a juggling mark, defensive side of the wing. Now looks to get it moving, sends it inside for Perry King. We'll just steady things down and think her way through this as the bodies start to get forward. Had to hold up and wait for it, and eventually worked its way to Reid. Reid flicked it over the top for Saywood. Reid continued to run. Porter got the handball from Barnes, went back inside. Oh, clever little over the shoulder there from Mifsud, and it found its way through to Reid. Well, some slick work there. The hands of Mifsud opening up the opportunity, and Reid will go back to kick for goal. Mitchell offering short, but opts not to go there. Right, getting back to the goal line. Does she have the journey here? Ava Reid. She did. She just didn't have the direction. Minor score only.
That really started from Skinner at the back. She didn't see what she liked, so she actually waited until her teams, made those tick leads and came back, and it absolutely benefited, and they got straight up to the forward line.
It's probably the best passage of play they've had in some time, the Tasmanians there. Able to transition out of the defensive half to the forward 50 has been an area they've let themselves down in a little today. Is that one just a bit too far out ahead of Robson and trickles out of play. So, take back over. Thompson on the wing, drops it in short. Straight through the hands of Skinner. Rare error there. Davidson. Skinner redeem that by locking it in with strong tackle. Gemma Lamb strips Saywood of the football. Just lingered a little too long in the tackle. Free kick to the Tasmanians here. Can capitalise on a bit of momentum they're generating the last few minutes. That's a great mark from Perry King. Strong pair of hands. Again, just shows some composure, waits, directs traffic, and then unfortunately picks out four, and he was playing in front of Reid and takes the intercept. Goes across the face of goal. Davidson. Keep heading wide. Push been paid there against Reid.
Oh, it's that fine line though. Do you try and intercept and put a bit of pressure and at least stop the play and give your other teammates time to get back, or do you let it go? I think she made the right choice, even if it was unintentional.
Allows them to structure up behind the ball at least, and they force a turnover here, although Barwick unable to get that one out. Picked up by Calogero. Johnson, got it down, but only so far as Davison. Just a bust on through, but ran into Webster. Johnson won it down in the hands of Calogero. Dennehy Maloney. High ball. Great pluck from Banks. So good above her shoulders with those intercept marks, Mackenzie Banks. Feature of Tasmanian defensive unit, both today and in game number one against Norwood. Mackenzie Banks' intercepting ability. Again, just unable to find a target at half forward though. Broken up, and the Borough will head into the middle of the ground. It was a kick laced with risk. Looking for Jebel Lamb, and doing well to break it up was White, but they keep on keeping on the Borough. Now look to charge out the back, but they've lost it, and a chance perhaps for Saywood to get something going, but just missing Webster with the handball. Umpire spots it over the shoulder. It's going to go the way of the Tasmanians. An opportunity for Brie Barwick. Guides the kick nicely to Smith. Smith now sends it forward to Reid the target, but in front of her is Skinner, who drifts back and plucks the mark. Sarah Skinner in a stand-up lead from the front for a side here. They need a goal. She can cut the margin back to 24 points there. 25 out directly in front. It's Sarah Skinner. Straight through the middle. A lovely kick. Never in doubt there. And Tasmania gets a reward for a positive last 5 minutes, I'd say. They've probably had their best period of the game for mine the last few minutes.
I think so. They definitely started really strong. And you can see that they're really trying to make sure that they're hitting their targets and looking out. You just saw Barwick then hit it out a little bit to the left and then able to pop it straight into the hot spot, which is something that they've probably practiced over and over again at training. And it works.
It was a lovely kick inside 50 there from Smith too. That's probably been the area where they've just been kicking to the opposition a bit too much, but that's the service you're looking for. Skinner playing the forward there, but also well positioned was Reid. It's been a tough day to be a forward for Tasmania, I think.
Has been a tough day. I'm sure Ava's really wanting another opportunity to make up for her point before.
Skinner, the goal there, lifting her side in the third term. Tasmania back within 24. So an immediate response to the last Tasmanian goal. In the back, advantage paid, charging away with it, Barwick. Driving through the heart of the UTAS stadium, but a kick was broken up there by Davey.
Right intention, just need those forwards to get in front of their players.
Great kick too, and a good mark from Jebel Lamb, who's been prominent in this third quarter. She sends it forward. An opportunity here. Did well. They'll raffle it. Sharp work from Davidson, took it in stride, plucked it and fires through a brilliant goal. Superb work from Nicola Davidson. Flashy stuff. It was sharp ball movement, but the finish from Davidson, exceptional. And again, the Borough responding to the Tasmanian goal almost instantly. How do you like that?
Seems to be a bit of a motivation from them. You go, all right, we'll have another crack again. That ignites the fire in their belly.
Just not giving them a sniff, are they? Just when Tasmania might think, can we get something going, roll a couple of goals together, they just snuff it out instantly.
It's about stopping that momentum, isn't it?
They've been unable to generate any. Tasmania had a good 5 minutes, worked so hard for that goal, and it's just wiped off like that. It's tough mentally.
They're just so explosive. I mean, we can see now 3 steps, hit the target. They're really intense around the ball.
On the attack again here, hands and knees, the ball cleared out of there. We locked in. And Barwick trying, bust free. Ruck work there from Denny Maloney, scooped back over the top. Rose kick was blocked off. Barnes worked it on. Following up was Banks, Perry King scrapping away in there. Barnes, Webster, but gathered by Caffrey. Sends a high ball towards Jebel Lamb. Jebel Lamb just keeps it in front of her, keeps control of it. Couldn't quite find a target with the handball. Nicely done in the end by Hill. Umpire's whistle blown there. It's going to be a free kick. Will go the way of the Borough. Opportunity for Mifsud. Opportunity for another one late here for Port Melbourne. Jordan Mifsud extend the lead to an even 6 goals. Leans back on it. It's a lovely looking kick, carried the distance with ease. And she sends it through, and Port Melbourne once again with all the answers here at UTAS.
When it's in the Port Melbourne's forward line, they just seem to have more space and more players down there. And Tassie's a little bit like scrambling around, trying to get back into where the ball's just been kicked into. Beautiful kick.
Considered run up, just nailed it. 7 goals, 8 now. Port Melbourne, the goal kicking, it's a bit of a problem early on when they were 1 goal 7, but they've really straightened up as the afternoon's progressed.
And you can see the breeze is starting to kind of come right through now. All the ponytails are swinging around, the Guernseys are flying.
Always the giveaways. That's a nice tackle laid by Webster and rewarded. Stripping Rabot. So, Gemma Webster, is the time for a late score here for Tasmania. That was a risky kick. Lamb buffeted off it there by Jebel Lamb. Borough win it back again. Perry King playing the tackle, but they keep the ball in motion. Bromwich He's trying to find Caffrey, who followed up. Ran though into Baldwin. Stripped was Barnes. And then swinging tackle there from Thompson, just wrapping it in. Dying embers of quarter number 3. The ruck decisively, and again locked in there. Take a quick clearance for either side. There to be a score here. Probably going to be a 3/4 time score, you'd imagine. 36 points the margin. As the siren sounds to end at quarter number 3. Improvement certainly in the first half of the quarter from the Tasmanians, but Port Melbourne finishing strong in those last 5 minutes, and they extend their lead again. 36 points at 3/4 time. Say the result probably beyond doubt at this stage.
Yes. It's been a really good contest thus far, but we're just seeing Port Melbourne's Charters, taking their stride out. And with that one, despite Tassie's efforts, with 9 tackle counts to 6 for Port Melbourne. So they're definitely in on the contest, but sometimes, from what I've been told from my coaches, sometimes more tackle counts you are means you are last to the ball,
yep, rather
than first to the ball. But we've got 6 forward entries for Tassie, whereas 7 for Port Melbourne, but they're obviously making those forward entries count a little bit harder.
Yeah, certainly did the damage, and have just had the answers both times. Tasmania have been able to kick a goal today. It's been a response within 30 seconds and then another one within a minute of that.
Yeah.
They've just been able to keep Tasmania at bay, stop any momentum, but I thought for the most part of that quarter, it was Tassie's best quarter of the afternoon.
I agree. Like you said, we had that really beautiful passage of play from Barwick, who was an absolute standout for me this quarter. She was able to really set up some play, which was fantastic to see. And you can see the team celebrating now. It just creates that a feeling of accomplishment. And yes, we are getting it right now.
So one more quarter to go. We'll take a quick breather and be back with the final turn for you from UTAS. It's Port Melbourne 6 goals ahead as we turn for the final change, leading this one 50-14. We'll be back shortly with the last turn for you. So we're back for the final quarter here. Port Melbourne firmly in control, leading this one by 6 goals against the Tasmanian Academy side as prepare for the final quarter here. And I'd imagine the message from Jodie Mitchell would be go out there and win this last quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be play strong, leave it all on the field, and don't go home thinking you had something else in the tank.
Yeah, I think that would be very much what you're looking for. Port Melbourne have just been a bit too strong today, but finish strong and try and head into next week's game with a little bit of momentum.
Everything's a learning experience, right?
Especially in the very nature of an academy squad, isn't it? So
yes.
An opportunity here, and they've seen the standard they're going to need to get to against a VFLW side here today in the Burrows. This one is Caruso. Great tackle laid by Perry King. Oblivious to it was Adams. Caught her cold and then flicks it over the top, moved it nicely, and in space, Mifsud, who immediately points goalward. Well, she's confident.
Take your opportunities. It's the last quarter.
Has she got the kick in her?
Absolutely.
So here we go.
Penting wind.
Emily Mifsud with the left, bending it back just too far.
That was still a beautiful kick. We'll blame the wind on that one.
Well, she seemingly used the wind to perfection there, was working it back, but just did a bit too much in the end. Swung late. Far away, Mifsud, but minor score only. Might have been a jumper hold there on Begg. This one will spill out the back. An opportunity here for Rabot. Couldn't gather cleanly. Under pressure now from Haynes. They keep the ball in motion though, then cleverly paddled back. Somehow getting boot to ball Caffrey. Haynes over the top of this one, just protecting it, shielding it. Still the ball flinging this way and every way. Anyone get clean possession? The Borough will here, although again a fumble, and then eventually they'll just work it forward off the deck. That's a fortune. Hands it right into the path there of Mifsud. He'll guide this one inside forward 50, just a bit too shallow there for Robson. Gathered by Hill, clears defensive 50, puts it out in front of Smith. Smith with Begg for company. Looks to escort her to the line. Did well there, Begg, and then Smith saying it was deliberately handballed straight over the line. Says spilled out in the tackle, throw in.
I reckon she's got her under 14 team watching her, supporting her, being super proud of her performance today.
She's been one of Tasmania's best. This one over the head of the rucks. From the second bounce, with plenty of loft on it. It'll be the Borough going forward once more. Kicked into space, through the hands there, Dennehy Maloney. Trying to gather Saywood. Lamb. Scrappy stuff this, but the ball just keeps working forward. Then took an awkward bounce for Caffrey, let in Perry King. Jukes around a couple of tackles, puts Skinner under all sorts of pressure. Play still goes on, no whistle. And the Borough will launch it forward. I'd love to see what's happening.
A few girls on the ground today, rolling around.
And hopefully nothing too serious injury-wise. In the meantime, Port Melbourne will take advantage, go forward, and Calogero will take the mark 30 out directly in front. What Haynes could do about that?
It's that human instinct when someone's on the ground, you all kind of like naturally stop and check.
I think there were probably also about 3 times there were players were expecting holding the ball or something to be called, and the umpire just let it go. Yeah. In the end, it found its way through to Alexandra Calogero. And looked to extend the lead to 41 points. And Julie does. Just had the journey, held up in the wind, but just got it over the line. A lovely kick from Alexandra Calogero. And Port Melbourne get the first goal of the final term.
First forward entry for Port Melbourne, first goal for the quarter.
And just peeled off into space. Haynes with 2 to guard. Continue to shoot straight after an erratic start. And been shooting the lights out ever since. On 1-7 and then 7-1 with their goal kicking.
Maybe that was the message from their coach, you know. When you're hitting on the target, make sure you make it count. We'll let the first quarter go.
Certainly showed a lot more composure in front of the big sticks as the match has progressed. Webster just paddling it into space, but that let in Begg, who toes it off the deck. Kelsey Hill battling away with Begg. Begg turning back inside. Oh, sharp stuff there. Got it over the top to Jebel Lamb. Drives them deep inside the forward 50. Tumbling bounce. Paddled into space. Jebel Lamb dives on top. Umpire says over the shoulder. Kicked a lovely goal in quarter number 3, did Jebel Lamb. See how the set shot skills are here. Easiest kick into the wind. Hill almost trying to hypnotise her there on the mark. And it does hit the wind.
I was staring at her, so it worked for me.
Big fan of that arm movement there. Very hypnotic. In the end, the kick just falling short. And that one trickle out of play.
Yeah, Jebel Lamb was someone that actually stood out to me in that third quarter. She really started presenting in the forward line with a lot of intent and urgency around the ball. Not quite able to finish then, but great intent.
Caruso sets it up inside the forward 50 once more. Bromwich was stripped of it. Umpire says spilled out in the tackle. Jebel Lamb again, but this time, well, Skinner had her, but the umpire says slipped high with the contact, and it'll be another opportunity for a set shot. This one closer to home.
That was a bit rough.
Skinner
maybe from our view, that looked a bit rough.
Yeah, maybe something from the umpire at the opposite angle. Maybe saw something. Sarah Skinner, fair to say, didn't agree with the assessment. Didn't look overly pleased.
Second opportunity for Jebel Lamb.
He missed one moments earlier, but much closer to goal this time.
Chaya.
And just carries it through. So Jebel Lamb grabs her second, has really got busy as the afternoon has gone on. And she gets another one there. And Port Melbourne continuing to kick away. They're just looking far too strong here at the moment.
Absolutely. I think what's really working for them is they're actually sending it low into the forward line, these low driving kicks, knowing that their player can pick it up, handball it off and get the run on through. Or, if they're lucky, get a high tackle and get a free kick.
A little bit of fortune about that one, I think, but takes advantage. And 47 points. It's going to get a little ugly on the scoreline now for the Tasmanians. They'll be looking to bag a couple late on here, just to bring back a bit of respectability on the final score. Nice ruck work there from Johnson into the path of Skinner. About the handball, instead kicked it up towards Lamb, who's immediately wrapped. Ball spilt out, but the whistle had blown.
When Tasmania get that clearance from the midfield, they look so good. When that hit out works for them, they're straight away into the forward 50.
Webster handballed it straight to the opposition. Skinner gathers, slams it on the boot, deep inside forward 50. Reed trying to reel it in. Kept her feet really well. Couldn't quite get the kick away. Some nice defensive work there. Ball back into dispute. Some good work from Buchanan. Stopping Reed, but force a stoppage. Reed will do the ruck work on this occasion. Outsized, but battled well. Thompson. Caruso strips her of the footy. Couldn't skip free there. Quite had the influence she had in the last game, Lucy Thompson, or as we have said, a tough afternoon to be a forward in this Tasmanian side.
Yeah, absolutely. And in that late third quarter, she was starting to limp a little bit, and you can see she's got some strapping around her knee, so maybe that's a playing it factor.
Couldn't quite break free of Caruso there. 3 Tasmanians can raffle that one. In the end, Grace White says, I'll have it. She'll drive them back inside the forward 50 here, and dropped by Reed into the path of Thompson. Ball was touched, I reckon. No, it's going to be a mark paid to Mifsud, so surely we'll go back and drive this one through. Easier shot than she had to start the quarter, that's for sure. The third of the afternoon makes no mistake, pops it through, and Tasmania do get some reward for repeat entries there.
It just shows when we've got that second effort around the ball and we're not going to let it out of Tassie's forward line, then they will get that reward for effort.
Nice finish there for old Mifsud, so 3-3 Tasmania. She bags herself a goal.
to second for the game.
She's presented well, I think, giving him an option.
Late addition to the team lineup as well, and I think a really great one.
So can the Tasmanians finish strong here against this classy Borough outfit? It's going to be a free kick going the way of Rabot. Shoved without it. There's Abby Rabot. She wheels off to her right. Not her best kick though. Quite a danger there. Barnes couldn't gather cleanly, but follows up. Tackle trying to crash through Stutton. Reaching for her head afterwards. Come off second best. Bella Stutt. Gingerly back to her feet. She's all right to continue.
Sometimes you need to put a little bit of mayo on it. Just, you never know. You might get a free kick out of it.
You might do.
And you need a processing time to figure out if you actually hurt or not.
Well, we saw O'Keefe there with what we were talking about earlier, the fake attempt to get rid of it. Look at me slapping my chest here. I don't want her to remove the football, but she left the umpire no doubt there.
The worst thing is that you don't want to get caught holding on it when you're sitting on it.
Certainly not. Here's Thompson, looks to shrug free of a couple. Couldn't shrug the attentions of Caruso, who gets there for the second time in a few minutes. Looks to get things moving quickly. It's a lovely kick. Found its way to Caitlin O'Keefe. O'Keefe now searching for Jebel Lamb. Has some support in the form of Bromwich. Just to arch the back and turn away from Baldwin. Sends it inside the forward 50 down there towards Slater. Haynes does well not to get in it back. Although, it's got up looking very proppy. One down towards Smith. Immediately under pressure from O'Keefe.
Haynes has been working very hard in that back line, being that first line of defence, and eventually it does start to wear on the body.
Sharp work there from O'Keefe. Sends them forward once more, and clever use of the body from Mifsud. Just worked Whitehead underneath the football, got in the side rather than the back, and took a nice mark.
2v1 as well.
Yeah, did it well. And then Opster just passed off to Bromwich. Caught napping there, the Tasmanians. Expecting the shot. It'll be a much easier chance here for Courtney Bromwich.
This is when that fatigue really sets in. And as Jodie Cliffy would have said, don't leave anything out. Don't leave anything in the tank.
A few tanks being tested, I reckon, at this early time of the year on such a big ground as Bromwich just gets them off the hook there. So that one through from behind. 42 points the margin. It's been pretty comprehensive on standard of opposition for this academy side today up against strong VFLW opposition, the Borough. Able to mark that one, Grace White. Coming off the deck was Davidson. Seeking the safety of the line and eventually finds it. A couple of heads and then paddled by Robson. It's taken without the football. No, the umpire says he had the football and told him the ball. Free kick will go the way of Buchanan. Bit hot there. Not sure there's a whole lot of prior opportunity.
Barely even had it in her hands a second.
That's a lovely kick, although dropping the mark was Mifsud. Follows up at ground level. Can she stoop down and gather it? Does so now, but is tackled by two Tasmanians. Hill and Whitehead stopping that.
A lot of green and yellow around that ball now.
Back in defence, here's Thompson moved on to the ball. All kick skews back into danger. Sets a task for Whitehead to defend. Did pretty well to hold it up. Mifsud's got busy, got it to Buchanan. And tumbling kick finds the marking target. Awarded for playing in front in the end there. Ashley Cooper. Well, didn't catch that one right. In the end, Banks seizes the football, takes the intercept, and then a bit of a dodgy kick though, coughed it right back up to Stutt. Might have another attempt here. Well, the Borough, and they'll get a goal. So just turning the ball over a little too easily, the Tasmanians in the back half.
It's all that adrenaline surge, you know, you're in the back line and your goal is to not let it back there. So when you get it, you just want to get it out. But, you know, that comes with experience and your teammates directing you. That was the time to just stop and, you know, towards the end of the fourth quarter, give everyone a chance to run out, move. You had Perry King on the side there. She's also been holding her finger for the last couple of minutes, so maybe jarred it or something. But, yeah, again, a learning experience, something that she'll be able to reflect on for next game.
So Keefe adds another one. And Tasmania now in arrears by 48. It's been commanding stuff from the visitors this afternoon. Begg under pressure here, gathered, flicked the handball up. Nicely done by White. Tracking at Lamb. Top of it, Ifsud. The umpire says you just sat on it, made no attempt holding the ball. Fair enough on that occasion. Caruso is played on but hadn't started behind her mark. Impressive back there this afternoon, Lauren Caruso. Model of composure for them. They keep not quite so composed. Set a task and now an opportunity perhaps for Tasmania. Long ball brought down by Mifsud. Reed, can she get onto her right? Didn't get enough of it. Under pressure now, Adams. Good pressure applied by Lamb. Oh, they're working hard here, Mifsud. Lamb behind only. Pushing hard for a late one.
That was a great tackle by Mitchell. She literally ran in from the 50 line to apply that pressure. They just couldn't quite finish off, but that was great second efforts from everyone.
Really working hard to the final siren, but able to get fourth of the afternoon. Caruso just guides it in short to Calagiero. Over the top and they'll look to rebound here. The Bow drives it up the wing. Dropping the mark. Dennehy Maloney. Plenty of numbers at the fall of the football though. One just hits a wall of wind for O'Keefe. Drifts out of play, so Tassie will take back over Kelsey Hill. 3 minutes to play. Can they find a late consolation marker here? Nice kick for Grace White. Just to drive into the corridor here. Sends it long, off hands. At the back, trying to gather it. Perry King gave it to Lamb. Under pressure from behind by Jebel Lamb. Well, good work there from Mifsud just to work the fend run. The ball gathered by Mitchell. Thumps a long ball. It bounces through for a behind. Thumping kick. Not to be. 6 points the margin. 2 minutes plus change remaining. Davidson. Begg. Turning with it. Handball over the top. Paddled towards the line, cleverly into space in the end. Knew there was the open field and so worked it nicely towards Barnes. Continued to run, couldn't receive back from King though. Her handball was broken up. Hands and knees, Hill did well, worked it. Kelsey Hill and some late contact there. That might be downfield. Will be. So opportunity for a late score here for the Tasmanians.
I'm all over in my chair because we can see when a player's about to run and crunch him from behind, but obviously they can't. So I'm anticipating and waiting for it.
So the teammate's voice so important. Long ball, searching for Reed, has two to beat, spills out the back, and Reed makes something work here. She kicked it in to Dennehy Maloney, who just blocks it through.
You know, regardless of the score at the end of the day, it's just so exciting that we're able to have this platform where we can get such a team, a calibre of team like Port Melbourne down to Tassie. It's their first trip down here, and then playing against our senior academy squad, which is just so exciting for everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only going to help raise the level. Having kind of half a dozen of these sorts of games this year is fantastic for the players' development. And they can see the level they're going to need to get to if they want to be part of that first kind of Devils VFLW program. You know,
absolutely, it's all about that exposure. And for young girls watching, you don't know what you can't see. So games like this just absolutely create momentum. And our Oz Girls All Girls Clinic has just started this week down in Hobart, which is so exciting. And you know, as we were talking about before, we've got another game next week, so that momentum's just going to keep building.
It's certainly the best way to raise the standards, to play good quality opposition regularly.
Exactly.
And they'll take plenty out of this one despite the end result. They've been outmatched today, but they'll take plenty of lessons from it as Olivia Smith turns into a bit of trouble. As for the visitors, well, they win this one by 45 points and they'll be very happy with their first tune-up as they prepare for the VFLW season. Far too good for the Tasmanians today. 10-9-69, defeating the host 3-6-24. There was plenty of class across the field. Who were the players who stood out for you this afternoon?
I think in the end, in the forward line, MIFS had, you know, being able to have 2 shots on goal, 1 successful one, backed up by Ava Reid. That was fantastic. It's really hard, like you said, when the forward line isn't getting much exposure to keep that intensity up. And actually from the third quarter as well, Jebel Land really stepped up for me in that forward line, which was fantastic.
It was Port Melbourne too strong for the Tasmanians at UTAS this afternoon. They'll be back in action next week though. A double header coming your way from North Hobart. We'll have the live stream of that one for you as well. Both the women and the men's senior talent academy in action, but today just a bit too strong. Port Melbourne and 45-point victors. And you'd say lessons learned, but you know, there's positives to take away from it, isn't there?
Absolutely. We still represented, Tassie still represented their state fantastically. And again, this is a team that has been in their grand final 2 years in a row. So we want to verse that type of calibre. Like you said, that's how we become better.
So that'll do us. Andrew Cooling and Maggie Goldsmith, thank you for joining in. A strong debut on the special commentary today, I must say.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so exciting. Glad to be a part of it.
And that's all for us here, bringing you the call. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll be back next week with a double header live from North Hobart as the Senior Talent Academy women's and men's sides. I think it's North Melbourne VFLW and Frankston Port Melbourne in the men's side of things, as these statewide games continue to flow in the early part of the year. Do join us for that. But from us here today at UTAS, it's bye for now.